going on, guys? Welcome back to Big Country Woodworking, and today I'm going to go over and show you guys how I take care and clean my cast iron table saw top. Now, this is the first cast iron tabletop I've ever owned. The other contractor saw was something else and never really. But what I've noticed is, and before I even coated it and protected it, I used it and I leaned on it, so it's getting a little bit of a rust pit to it, especially being in kind of a humid shop. So what I'm going to go do is go through the steps I'll take to pretty much clean this up and protect it. So follow along. Okay, now that I've kind of brushed it off, cleaned it down, my first step is to try to get this the cast iron as completely clean as possible. Now, I like to use WD-40. You can use PB Blaster if you have some super thick stuff. So all you're gonna do, shake it up. You're just gonna put a decent size coating all over the cast iron. Nice, evenly spread. And what you're going to do is you're going to let this sit for about 15-20 minutes. If you have some really bad spots, I'd let this sit for even longer. But since this is pretty much a new table saw, I'm going to let it sit for about 10-15 minutes, then come back and I'll show you the next step. Let that sit for about 20 minutes. Now we're going to take our Scotch Brite pad. This is I think it's ultra fine. It's the gray one, not the green one. I think the product number is like 7448. It's ultra fine. And what I like to do, they make those handles for this, but I'll just take random block of wood, lay it down. But I'll do nice and easy, not a lot of pressure, but nice back and forth movements. Always back and forth, left to right. You don't really want to do any kind of swirls or add any kind of extra pressure, because you don't want to put any swirls or any kind of unneeded. I literally take it up. You'll notice it's working when you kind of get the black swirls, not swirls, but I'll show you. Something like that. Once I've done that, I will come back with a shop towel blue shop towel. You can get them anywhere. A little bit thicker than a paper towel. And I'll just wipe off the excess. Already, just using that, it's like night and day. Now, if you still, after doing it one time, you still have some spots in there, go ahead and do it again. Like I said, WD-40 for your lighter stuff. PB Blaster will work as well. Anything that's pretty much non-water based, you really want to stay away from, because, you know, water causes rust. All right, now that I have most of that up, you can still, it's just still kind of a film on there, and you really want to get that off before you add anything on here. So what I'll do is I'll take another shop rag. And typically I like to use a denature alcohol, but for some reason it was very hard to find. But what you can use instead is lacquer thinner. You just want to be very careful around your painted stuff. I don't really care. So you can tape it off, but if you have something along like these are painted, may take the paint off of that. But what I'll do is I'll just throw some on a rag. You can even just dump it right on the top. And I'll just wipe it down. Again, staying away from any water-based solvents. Again, will cause rust. This is just taking off any of the excess WD-40 that's still on the table. Nice shine to it already. And now what I'll use to add for the protection is I'm going with the Bow Shield T9. Typically you see a lot of people use the Johnson Paste Wax, but Johnson stopped making it like 2 years ago. So it's very, very, very hard to find. So I've heard a lot of good things about Bow Shield. There's a few other ones. I can't remember the something bright. I can't remember. But this stuff's simple to use. All you really do, if I can open it, is essentially spray on a nice even coat and let it dry. So you can't ask for anything better. So what I'm going to do, like I said, spray nice. Nice even coat. And like I said, this stuff you can use for your cast iron, chains, engines, electrical circuits, deck hardware, RVs, household stuff, garage locks, stuff like that. Anything that it's a rust and corrosion protection, and it's a waterproof lubricant. So like I said, I'm gonna leave this sit on here till it dries. I put a pretty liberal coat on, so it should take an hour or so. Once it's dry, I'm just gonna kind of buff it a little bit with another rag, and then we'll be good to go. So I'll see you in about an hour. Okay, a shirt change, and several hours later, it's finally dry. It does actually have a little bit of a film, so I'll just kind of like go over, buff it in. But overall, very, very impressed. Nice and shiny. All that pitting is gone. You'll notice when I show the B-reel over this, all the pitting's gone. It's got a nice reflective surface. The real test here is how well does that slide? Pretty good. No real marks. I can tell you paste wax does allow things to slide a little bit better, but this is pretty good. Not too bad at all. Leaves a nice shine. Compared to, I mean, it's two night and day with or apples to oranges with paste wax and the Bow Shield. I think Bow Shield's less labor intensive to put on. A lot easier. It does take a while, but I think paste wax gives a little bit nicer finish. But if you're looking for something relatively easy to do, you can essentially set it and forget it. Bow Shield T9 is the way to go, and you can use it for multiple other applications, engines, electrical stuff, RVs, awnings, bicycle chains, just to name a few. But like I said, give it an 8 out of 10. But like I said, very impressed. I thank you guys for tuning into the video. If you want to see more videos like this, please leave it in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks.